How's it feel to be in Philadelphia, where you grew up kind of and played football in college?
Man, it's exciting to be home. Thrilled, when I realized that I would be coming here, I was overwhelmed with emotion, to be closer to my family and to be able to play back in the stadium where I spent my whole college career in front of the fans that watched me grow as a player. It's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing for me, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I want to thank Jeffrey Lurie, Howie, Nick, man. I want to thank those guys, my agent, for getting it done. Because this right here is amazing, and I don't think this story could have been written any better. I'm truly excited. I can't wait to get in front of the fans and play come the start of the season.
Why the Eagles? Beyond coming home, what was it about the team and the organization that made you want to come here?
Just the spirit of it all, man. It's a contrary to belief. This is a great place to be, man. It's a great sports town, great sports city, and the connections here. I love it here. During my career so far, every offseason I would come back home, and now I got the chance to play here, and it just means so much to me. So I'm happy to be here, and like I said, I just can't wait for that first game to be able to get in front of the crowd and get to play here.
I know you haven't been here long, but what is your expectation of how Jonathan Gannon will use you in his defense?
I'm a versatile player. Believe that I'll be used to my versatility. But that was pretty much it. We'll get to the X's and O's once we get to OTAs and training camp and get to installation. But I'm a versatile player, and so far just being able to use me to my all my strengths.
Haason, if you go back to 2017, coming out in the draft as a South Jersey kid and playing at Temple, did you have any dreams at that time of playing for the Eagles? You went 13, they had the 14th spot.
Right. It was crazy to see how close, I was to being home. Even especially with the draft being in Philly that year, and that's why I made the comment earlier that I don't think the story could have been written any better. To play in Philadelphia, 15 minutes away from home, right over Jersey, across the bridge, to be able to get drafted here. Get drafted in Philadelphia, but missed the Eagles by one pick, and to have this thing come full circle, and now had a chance to come play back here. Get back in the link, man. It's wonderful.
You've been used a lot of different ways.
Say it again.
What's the best way to use you? How can they maximize your skill set?
I'm so far in my career, man. I've been doing it all. I've been rushing, I've been dropping, and just use me to my versatility. I'm a fast guy. Just get me on the field and let me go play football at the end of the day. I'm a football player. Just get me on the field and let me go play football.
You've been used a lot of different ways in your career. Do you have one specific area of the field you like to be in more, and then also have you decided what number you're going to wear?
No, I haven't yet. As far as the number, I haven't decided yet. Still thinking about that for obvious reasons. As far as, what I like to do, like I said, man, I'm a football player. I haven't even, to be honest with you guys, I haven't even gotten to take in, how I'm going to be used here and things like that. I have a bunch of family here, and man, for the last 3 days, I've just been taking it all in with the chance to be able to come back home and play football. With my mom, with my father, my siblings, just being able to be home. Started off my career so far away in Arizona. They weren't able to come out to as many games as I would have liked them to because of the distance, and being able to close that gap now, and like I said before, being back in front of the fans, man, is extremely wonderful, and that's all I've been thinking about for the last couple of days.
Haason, you're talking a lot about the familiarity that you have here. It seemed like last year you got to play for Matt and play for Phil Snow. How much do you think that familiarity impacts you as a player? Do you think that there's a tangible benefit to it?
I feel like no matter if it's me or any other player, you know, the connections is always, it makes transition easy. You know what I'm saying? It makes transition easy. Nobody wants to go to a place where they're uncomfortable or unsure of anything. So to have connections wherever you're going, it just makes it that much better, and it makes the transition for you that much easier.
What are the connections that you have here?
Say it
What are
again.
the connections that you have here in the building?
In the building, you know, I know a couple guys on the team, and outside of that, you know, understanding that I was wanted here, and then, you know, just my connection to the city.
Have you had a chance to talk to Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, and all those guys, and what's their advice have been for you for playing in the city?
So far, personally, face to face, I talked to Jordan today. I talked to Slay today, and I talked to Kelsey today as well. You know, just talking to them about, you know, the opportunity to come here, get ready to ball out, and go do something great with those guys. BG reached out to me on Twitter. The Grave Digger, I like that name, so I'm gonna call him that. Hargrave, he reached out to me on Twitter as well. Slay had, before I had talked to him, reached out to me as well, you know, and it was crazy to see that those guys, you know, wanted me here to come here and be a part of what they're already a part of and ball out with them. And then Hurts also, you know, he got my number, he texted me, you know, congratulating me and told me how thankful he was, you know, that I was finally on his team and, you know, not having to play against him anymore, which was, you know, anytime somebody who plays offense congratulates you and, you know, they tell you how they love your game and how they're glad that you're on their team and that you don't have to go against them anymore, you know, that lets you know that you're doing big things and that, you know, your game speaks for itself.
What was the free agency process like for your second straight year? Is that something you just let your agent handle? Do you say, when Philadelphia's showing interest, do you say, I'd like to go there? How did you sort of handle it?
It was something that I really let my agent handle. As you know how the whole free agency thing works out. I let my agent handle it, and then once the tempering period started, we just weighed all options, and you know, I decided to go from there.
You talked about your versatility, but it was in year 4 that you really exploded in terms of rushing the passer. They started lining you up more on the edge. What was it about finally getting the opportunity to do that made such a difference for you?
You know, I had done it well in college, and you know, spending 4 years in college working on rushing the passer, it's just something that is natural to me. And basically that was it, you know. Got to go back to a position, or I was asked to do things that I was more comfortable with, and it made it that much better for me. I got re-excited about playing football.
Because it took so long to get to that point, do you still feel like you're ascending in that role as a pass rusher?
I definitely do. You know, rushing on the NFL. You know, rushing against NFL tackles is different than rushing in college, you know, and while I have been able to have success, you know, I'm still growing in this thing. I'm really just getting started. I don't even think I've tapped into, you know, a lot of my potential yet, and you know, by God's will, man, I just hope that I can continue to ascend.
As you weighed other options, did you maybe take more or less rather to come to Philly because it was Philly?
I don't want to get into that, but I will just say this: the opportunity to come home and play here, play so close to Jersey, and play in Philly again, made a big impact on my decision.
Can there be more pressure and responsibility though with coming home with this kind of contract? Can there be more pressure coming home?
It could be, but I've always succeeded under pressure, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to continue to be who I am and continue to do the same things that I've done that allowed me to have success. And I'm going to, you know, continue to bring that attitude, that hungry, that underdog mentality here. And I'm going to continue to do what I do best.
You're not built like traditional edge rushers. How do you offset that and win so much?
I'm faster than traditional edge rushers at the end of the day. But like I said earlier, man, I have an underdog mentality. I'm a hard worker. And, you know, at the end of the day, size doesn't matter to me. You line them up in front of me, and I'm going to do the best I can to beat them.
I understand that at the end of last year, you were mentioning something about adding more weight?
Mhm.
Is that correct? And have you gone about doing that? And what are your goals in that regard?
I'm currently right now I'm sitting at about like 242 pounds. Yeah, still trying to figure out, I said I wanted to get it to about 250. I'm gonna see how I move around with that weight, still figuring out what's going to be the, perfect size or weight to play at for me. Because at the end of the day, I still want to keep those things, my speed, my bend, those are things or assets to my game that help me be as successful as I am. So I'm gonna work on trying to keep those things in my game as well.
If I could follow up, why did you want to add the additional weight?
Just because, at the end of the day, I just wanted to open up my rush plan a little bit more, being able to move guys out of my way at my will whenever I wanted to.
When you broke that you were coming back home, was there anybody you heard from your past who sort of surprised you, or that
Say it again.
When the news broke that you were coming back home,
Mm-hmm.
and as people were reaching out to you, did anybody sort of surprise you that you heard from?
Not really, man. I knew a lot of people that I, met during my time here was going to reach out to me. So many people reached out to me for congratulations, and I just wanted to thank them all, appreciate it because I wasn't able to get back to them all because of how many people have reached out. But, just thankful for everybody that congratulated me and, wished me a welcome back home.
Think back to the
that you had an unconventional route to the NFL, being a walk-on, just like Kelsey, who you mentioned that you met today. How'd that connection really help you, knowing that, like, at first, starting off your career at the collegiate level, things were undecided, and Kelsey was the same way. What has that relationship really meant to you, especially meeting him just today?
It just lets me know what type of person he is. It lets me know that he worked really hard to get to where he's at, and that's the same thing for me, I worked really hard to get to where I'm at today, and I could respect a guy like that. I know what a guy like that stands for, and when I saw that he was coming back, man, I was excited because you need guys like that. He's a great role model and somebody that shows how to come over adversity.
If you think back to the 10-year-old version of yourself, 12-year-old version of yourself, what would he think of this moment right here?
Man, I think he would be proud. The 10-year version of being at 10 years old, man, I never thought that I would be in the NFL. Nevertheless, the chance to play back home, for the Eagles, I think he would be really proud, man, and I think he would look up to himself.
Thanks, Haason. Thanks, Terry.